Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming along for the Design Competition Input-Output Conference 2021. Today, we will have a brief presentation from myself about the conference, followed by Theo's opening keynote. So the Design Computation Input-Output Conference started last year, and we're very pleased with the outcome, and we love the fact that we managed to curate a very good collection of papers and presenters. So we see this conference as a open and global collaboration. Everybody is welcome to participate. And our intention is to organize this new knowledge. As new tools appear, as technology advances, we want to understand how this technology can be used for the advancement of design, and how we execute design, how we think about it, and how we can make it in such a way, executed in such a way that will improve outcomes, because there is a necessity to design better environments. This is also about processes, methods, and tools. So we are very interested in the different tools we can use today, how they can improve, but also organizational methods, and to a certain degree, how we architect workflows to deliver better design and better outcomes. It is also about being rigorous and at the same time being accessible. So we want to make sure that every presentation and every paper in the conference represents a progression in the domain of computational design. But this also has to be accessible. So it needs to be something that talks to everyone within the practice of design, and also associated research, computer graphics and organizational science and so forth. And very importantly, it's the cross-fertilization of design and computation in all their complexities. So we're very keen to understand how new things emerging, or new disciplines, or new techniques emerging from computation it has an effect on design practice, and also how design practice can inform computational methods. So we've gained some support from last year to this year. So we have the Architecture Association involved. We have University of Sydney involved now. I'm very proud of that. Yale University is involved, and a professor there, Philip Bernstein, will be publishing a paper in our proceedings book, although he will not be able to present because of time differences and workload. We have McNeil involved, and so forth. We're very proud of the different organizations participating. Autodesk has been very supportive. The Bartlett, as always, has been very supportive. Fawcett Partners, Bentley Systems. It's really fantastic to see people taking some time to contribute. So we have some amazing speakers delivering keynotes in the day one. The opening keynote will be Theodoros Spiropoulos, and I feel very fortunate to have him here. Then we have the opening note for the algorithm session, and it's Dr. David Fopp. I know David for quite some time now, and during my period at computer science when I was doing my doctorate there. Professor Kate Jeffrey, who I had the opportunity to collaborate with in a number of instances, and the work she's doing in the Jeffrey Lab is just absolutely fascinating. And a friend and a very bright researcher at the Alan Turing Institute, Stephen Law, is talking about artificial intelligence and the research he's doing there in how to compute at urban scales. On the second day, we have David Kirsch, who is also a friend, and now the president of AMFA, and is researching the intersections of architecture and neuroscience. Chris Long, who is talking about the culture of making, And I think Chris's presentation will be super interesting because Chris is a incredibly skillful and technical person, but he has this amazing intellectual latitude to talk about cultural changes. We have Kim Winsley. He will be talking about the future of digital twins within Autodesk. Shazay Bhushan, who will be talking about the use of computational tools within Zaha Hadid and Zaha Hadid Code. And at the closing remarks from Professor Sean Hanna, who helped me to found this conference. This year we had it was the first year we had our workshops. We had two very interesting workshops. The first one was our introduction to generative components. Generative components was one of the first computational design tools for the construction industry to use visual scripting, and it has evolved dramatically. The history of generative components is very connected to the research done at the Bartlett. So Professor Robert Aish was very involved with generative components on his time at Bentley Systems. And it's fascinating to see how it has been changing. So yesterday we had Brendan giving an introduction for zero knowledge audience, which is fascinating. And then we had a presentation from Mac News, from Louise, on how to mint 3D geometry in the blockchain. And I thought this was super interesting. The fact that you can create a digital artifact and give it ownership and be able to prove that ownership in a blockchain like Tezos. So fascinating stuff. And I think this will have an absolute huge impact in how we create build information models in the future. The recordings will be available soon on the YouTube channel. Also, I'd like to draw your attention to the preprints. So we have posters in this conference, and Design Computation owns digital object identifier prefix. So if you have work that you want to preprint, you can publish in the Design Computation Conference, and this will have a digital object identifier, and we'll go into a book with an ISBN number, and this gives evidence of the origin of that idea. So if you want to use this mechanism, we have this in place, and I know this is a trend in academic publications. This goes into our proceedings book. You can access the proceedings book in our conference website or in the designcomputation.org website. And that we are working to publish more digital books, or publish only digitally, because this is a greener option. So we have our digital publication, our ebook in Apple, in the Apple Books and the Apple Store. And this is augmented with the video presentation. So as you read the book, you can also watch the presentations. And I'm trying to also augment the publication with the articles in the DC Wiki. So the schedule has been updated and is on the website now. Please note that we adjust a little bit the times. There was a little bit discrepancy on the times I gave yesterday, but now this should be correct. We'll be also uploading the PDF you can download in a few minutes. And then with this, I thank you very much for everyone attending today to the Design Computation Input Output Conference 2021. And it's a pleasure to be able to run this conference again this year. And welcome everyone. And I will start with our keynote.